Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So yesterday I just finished the whole way for Xenologue. What a freaking night that was. Took about 8 hours and I loved every minute of this. Anyway, there's a lot to unpack here, but I just want to start by telling you guys my perspective on it. So that's going to be what this video is all about here, right? I saw that some of you were up late, or maybe I should say really early with me on the stream, so I just want to say thank you guys for joining me. You are awesome. You are what drives this channel. Alright, so let's get started. I triggered the DLC by going to the Ancient Well and entering into the Fell Xenologue. And man, I gotta say that even though I spent a bunch of time preparing for this, it threw me off, right? All the levels, the stats, classes, inventory are all predetermined so that all characters that I grinded out felt absolutely like they were peasants, man. They sucked for this storyline. So that didn't stop me from having a ton of fun with it, but it did ensure that this DLC was going to be hard no matter what. By the way, before I go any further, I should just say this video is going to have major spoilers. So if you want to avoid that, you should definitely click off now. I mean, I'm about to run through the entire story chapter by chapter and just tell you a little bit more about how I strategized the gameplay and just how I enjoyed the storyline. Alright, let's get into it. So, in Chapter 1, Alir hears a voice. Strangely, it's his own voice from another world. This summons him through a portal into an alternate reality, Lythis Castle. So, here he meets our new protagonists, Nell and Nil. In classic Fire Emblem fashion, no time to waste, an assassin shows up to steal their bracelet. Now, bracelets in this new world are very important. That's this reality's version of rings, and they also contain emblems. So of course, after that slight, Alir and our team, they have to join the battle to fight what ends up being mostly phantom wolves. Now, they have a new skill in this world called Cursed Fang. This is one seriously evil attack. It cuts down your max health so that if you had, say, a max of 60 HP and you get hit, now your new max HP is 55. And it'll carry on like this after each hit. Super brutal, so you're going to go ahead and you're going to need a staff wielder with restore. So that's going to be the only way you can really manage this. Also, this is where you realize that Nil is super weak. You have 5 units, but since he's mandatory, realistically, you're going to feel like you only have 4 valid units. So this was a fun chapter, and in the end, after having to reset once already, I won the battle and got the Tiki bracelet. Now, Alir can't use it in this world, so Nell puts the bracelet to slumber instead. So slumber just means that it makes it dormant so that it cannot be used by others. In Chapter 2, Celestia joins the team so that we can fight Alfred and Selene and take another bracelet. In this world, all the nations are fighting each other, and we need to take away the bracelet that would enhance their abilities to just go around killing each other. You need to be fast on this battle. The enemy reinforcements will not stop coming until you reach Alfred and Selene. Trust me, I held my position way too long, and I had to realize it the hard way. Just rush them. Attack with their own alternate reality characters from your team so that you can get the special dialogues. And then you can go ahead and call it a day on this chapter. In Chapter 3, we get Gregory, who is this reality's version of Grist. Cool guy, huge coward though, compared to the version that we're used to of him. We'll be fighting Diamant and Elchris. Once again, it's just crazy with reinforcements, so you have to be fast. But prepare to come up against mage cannoners and flying units. There's going to be tons. Anyway, this one may take a few goes, but when you beat it, you will get the bracelet from Diamant and Elchrist without having to kill them. Well, only to find out that Nell doubles back to kill them shortly after. It turns out they were corrupted, so we can't hate on her too much. She might have made the right call. Everyone was theorizing who killed Diamant when the trailer came out, and I was saying at that time that it was Nil, so I guess I gotta eat my words. I gotta be honest, this was a nice twist. In Chapter 4, we meet Mauvier and Madeline. And now we have the full 4 wins team. So the 4 wins are the alternate reality 4 hounds team. It's going to be really cool to have these guys fighting with you. Now this battle is going to be a crazy one. We have 3 teams that are all fighting against each other. That's fairly rare in Fire Emblem. We saw it once in 3 houses. So we're going to have our team, which will be led by Alir. We have Solm's team, led by Tamara. And we have Illusia, led by Ivy. It's a hard battle because, just like in the others, the reinforcements never stop until you're within close range of their leader. Double hard in this chapter because you have to contend with 2 leaders. Honestly, this one was brutal to get the special dialogues on, so I don't blame you. If you don't want to do that, you can go ahead and just view them on YouTube. I mean, I have them on my channel, so feel free to check that out. As always, at the end of this, we win the battle. Of course, you saw it coming. You knew we had to. But this time, Nell kills both enemy leaders in front of Alir. Obviously, that's upsetting. Alir isn't about that life, and they look exactly like his friends. None of them are going to be anything even close to his friends, though, and Nell does a decent job of explaining this and helping Alir feel a little bit better. So now Nell feels awful, which is the whole thing, because she wants to just protect Alir, but he can't see that. He's disturbed by her actions. So now she's upset, so she needs to walk away. The whole team joins her except Alir and Nil, which leaves them alone together, which really what is the first time. Now, this is when Nil reveals that he can in fact summon emblems, something that this whole time he's been telling us he can't do. So he's been hiding this from day one. At this point, we start to understand that Nil may not be who we thought he was. But it's too late for Alir, because he gets knocked out, and then he gets imprisoned by Nil right after. So eventually, Nell pulls herself together. She comes back to where she thinks she's going to find Alir and Nil, and this is where we really see Nil's true side. He tells Nell that Alir stole all of the bracelets and left for the ruinous temple. She and the team are off right away to deal with him, only to get ambushed by the corrupted. At this point, they have an understanding of what's going on, and Nell attempts to rescue Alir, while the 4 winds hold the corrupted back. The leaders in this fight are going to be Nil, Fogado, and Hortensia. This is a really unique and cool fight. I've never really seen a battle quite like this in Fire Emblem. There's so much that's going on in it. So Nell's stuck in the ruin with Nil, battling it out. Alir is stuck in a cage, just taking damage from enemy attacks without really being able to do much about it. The 4 winds are unusable in this battle, and the rest of your team is left with the responsibility of fighting 3 high-level leaders, a ton of corrupted, and healing Alir all at the same time. Now this battle is going to be extremely hard fought, but the end of it is pretty beautiful. The 4 winds realize that they can't win, so they destroy the 4 pillars of the temple to kill all of their enemies, along with themselves. They've now made the ultimate sacrifice, so we have to make sure that we win this for their sakes. Now Nil, on the other hand, is one cunning SOB. He kidnaps Nell, only because he knows Alir is going to follow him in order to save her. He needs Alir at the Somniel to awaken a bracelet, and only for the Divine Dragon. He needs that, because he's about to go beast mode. Now, Chapter 6 is full of surprises, and as the final chapter of this DLC, I really feel like they nailed it. Alir arrives in the Somniel and breaks the seal on the last bracelet in order to save Nell. This allows Nil to finally become the Fell Dragon. At this point, I felt very unprepared for the battle, but we get a nice surprise. It turns out that Mavier used a rewarp staff to save 3 of the 4 winds and die in the ruins alone. Gotta love Mavier, even in this timeline. Honestly, we all theorized that he was actually going to be a bad guy, and that's why he wouldn't be able to come back with us to our original reality. Turns out we were way off, so this is definitely an exciting change of pace for me. Okay, so that was the vote of confidence I needed. We now had 3 of our OP characters back. But the Fell Dragon is no joke. In some ways, I would say he's even better than Sombron. There are areas of the map that, when blasted by Nil, will completely be destroyed within a number of turns, and they create an instant death trap. The Fell Dragon flies around, which is also a huge hazard for you, but when you get him on the north side, his shield will be down, and this is your chance to kill him. The problem is, we have to go through every royal that we've fought so far, and they all have emblems. So that's like 8 liters before even getting to the final boss. And the floor can be swept out from under you at any time by a blast from Nil. It's going to be hard, but by this point, you're very close. Now after a hard-fought battle, you'll finally finish the Fell Dragon and get to hear his story. Turns out, Nil was never really Nil this whole time. His real name was Raphael. He's also a child of Sombron, and very much resembled Nil, but he was no twin of Nel. Turns out, Nel kind of knew this, but I guess it was easier for her to choose to believe that he was actually her twin. Technically, Nel and Raphael are still siblings, and she does care for him, so in the end, she sacrifices herself to save him from Sombron's curse. Raphael has been a snake this whole time. He didn't care about Nel. He doesn't care about Nil or his legacy. I mean, he just went and trashed that after all. He doesn't care about Alir. He only wanted power. However, this act of sacrifice from Nel does seem to give him a change of heart. He now vows to help Alir in his own world when Nel comes back to life. See, his plan is that he is going to resurrect her the same way that Lumera did for Alir. It's going to be quite a reunion in about 1,000 years. Anyway, there you have it. You'll quickly find that after this, you will return back to your original reality, and the gameplay will go back to what it was. It's quite an epic story in my opinion, and the battles were no joke. I enjoyed every minute of this DLC, and it was made even more fun because you guys came along with me. Let me know what you think of the new DLC down in the comments, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. That's all for now. I will see you in the next video.